Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Smitty here, and we are now live. It pops up there. All right. And as you guys see, I got my Twitter up here. Let me come out of that there. All right. So, I was just going to do a video, do a few videos on it and call it a day from there. But I decided to go ahead and just do a stream and just talk about it here. So, what's going on, Mini Jordan? How's it going? How's it hanging? But, I want to say this though, precursor, before I get into this, okay? This thing that has to be understood, and we really have to understand this. We know that. Yeah, they talking about this is very early, and I like this though. This is what they used to do. They used to come out with it this early. So I'm glad that they're doing it right now. Like, I'm real glad they're doing this right now. I love that. And I'm gonna get into these articles here in a moment, but I want this to be perfectly crystal clear, understood as best as possible. What's going on, James? What's happening? Is that no one here is saying, there's nothing wrong with being happy about what they're doing, right? Or what they're trying to do. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's like we complain and we complain, which is justified. We make all the points and say all these different things that are wrong with the game, need to be fixed, blah, 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 whoop, whoop. We point out these old games, 2K5, APF, PS2 Maddens, NBA 2Ks, all that stuff. And we're like, yo, the game needs to be this, the game needs to do that, the game needs to do. But then when they actually start to do it, it's like, okay, color me a little bit impressed. I'm liking, okay. They talking the right way, but they got to deliver. EA has earned all the scrutiny, all the hate, all the second guessing and all that stuff. I don't know if they're gonna deliver. I don't know what they're gonna bring. That's all earned. So I definitely understand when people talk along that line. Oh, watch this be OP. Watch them mess this up. Watch this be jacked up. I get it. We all get it. He said they're one-stepping though. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's a step. That's the point. As long as it's being done though, that like the right things being done, that's what we've been asking for. That's what, not just asking, that's what we've been demanding for, ranting for, making vids about. Like, if they're doing it, and let's say it continues. You said the stream stopped. When did it stop? It's still going. The stream ain't stopped. Okay, I don't know what it's on. Okay, alright. But no, this is stuff that we've been demanding for. Am I saying, yo, they did it all? Alright, guys, 500%. We just back it all the way. No. We have to see how everything delivers. We got to see how the gameplay is going to be based off the articles, what I'm going to get into here in a moment. We got to see how the franchise stuff is going to work. We got to see how this scenario engine even works. You know what I'm saying? We have to see how all of it comes together. The abilities and everything. Because there's a lot of people that play MUT that are upset about these chemistries and abilities being in the game. You know what I mean? And I got something to say about that too. And I'll talk about that when I get to that article. But you said what? Baseball films. So is this year's game going to look forward to or not being a franchise guy? I mean, read the article. Read the articles. Like, I'm gonna go through the articles here, and then you make the judgment call. That's the whole thing. Like, I can't tell. One thing, I can't ever tell you what you should or should not do. You have to make that decision yourself and be like, you know what? I'm gonna rock with this. If you don't want to rock with it, that's on you. Leave it alone. If you believe what they're doing is not nearly enough for you to want to go ahead and get it, fine, leave it alone. But the stuff they're talking about that they'll potentially be able to do, if they're able to do it, and this is the initial starting point for them to do it, I'm happy. If they're able to get this much into it, that's great. let's get into it though, man. That's why I decided to do this as a live stream instead of just doing a video and cutting it. Because I want people to, I want to be able to interact with y'all. I want y'all to see how I'm feeling about this. Okay, so let me see here. I'll start off with the franchise mode. My man Baseball Film. He said, I like it. Oh, Mahomes on a... man, I don't give a care who's on the cover, to be quite honest. That doesn't mean much to me. All that matters to me is how the game plays and how it functions with the modes and the depth to boot. That's what matters the most to me. I'll care about the cover when they got that ship in alignment. You know what I mean? Get those things in alignment. Then I'll love... Let's see who's on the cover, who made it. Like, then I can be lax about that. He said, David West, what you saying? No, gameplay being better. Exactly, Menace. Exactly, bro. Exactly. And what David West said, game isn't even out in the wild, and the commentary is so bad. Oh, okay. That's commentary. See, me personally, I can have zero commentary. Whether the commentary is good or bad, that's one thing. But I need the overall game to be great. That's the main thing for me, man. But getting into the article, I'm not going to read every single thing. But it's, you know, because this is from Game Informer. Shout out to Matt Burtz. He did multiple pieces here. As you see here, well, Matthew Cato on this one, and yeah, Matthew Cato on these two, excuse me. Then the franchise one here, Matt Burtz. Okay, so I'm just going through it, and see, he even makes mention of 2K and what it is that they have in their game. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, no, family's good, man. Family's good. They're doing great, man. Thanks for asking, bro. I appreciate that. How about yours, Matt? And see, this one was saying Madden being one of the guiltiest parties when it comes to stagnation. Outside of a few scouting progression updates, Tiburon has been content to let this mode be idle. You know, those kind of things which we already know. Mike Young, which I didn't even know he was a creative director, to be quite honest. I guess that slipped under the rug. I didn't know that. But that's what's up. And it's the most interesting sport year round in my opinion. We care about it all year long, and there are phases of it. We want to bring to life the ability to have decisions that can impact your franchise based upon how you handle personnel, morale, teammates, and employees. Excuse me. That wasn't in Madden at all, and it felt like a stats management game only. See, that's the key. This is the key stuff coming out of Mike Young. This is from him. What's up, Quadface? What's going on? Oh, potty train. Oh, man. Yeah, I've already done it with one. You know what I mean? I did it with the daughter, but eventually my son will have to go through the same thing with the potty training, fam. But yeah, it's something to deal with, but you'll get through it, man. But Quadface, what's cracking, brother? So yeah, this is a key statement from Mike Young saying this. So that says a whole lot right there. Now, to dig itself and realize its ambition, Tiburon's brought a group of franchise enthusiasts on board, and they pointed out my man Swami, my brother Swami. Shout out to my man Andre Weingarten, aka Swami. And see, look, the strike team works not only to freshen up pre-existing systems like trade logic, free agency, and scouting, but also to develop the scenario engine. Madden 20's instrument for recreating the dynamic storylines that drive headlines all year round in the NFL. Now, here we go. Use that. See, the way the game is, you can basically predict what players are going to do. But if you identify individual elements for a good story, you can conceivably develop software underpinning that mix and match these elements to generate a series of moments that feel in line with the stories that emerge out of the NFL every week. And see, I like the source material that they're using for examples. Like when they're talking about they looked at Le'Veon Bell's holdout or AB demanding a trade. There was nothing in Madden to bring that to the forefront. Facts. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know what I mean? To bring leadership and managing the locker room and personalities and cohesiveness that's needed on a football team, either from a player perspective or a coaching perspective. Facts. Scenario engines intended to create dynamic storylines week to week based on how you're playing, who you are, your record, stats, and the personalities. That's the key word, the personalities around you. It fires off stories that could be 1 week stories, but there are also several storylines that are branching. Essentially reverse engineered minor storylines from the last 7 years, finding compelling scenarios that would challenge players, looking at the inputs necessary. Okay. And see this right here is key. If a star player found out he was placed on the trade block, how would he react? If you cut ties with a future Hall of Famer for a hotshot rookie, what would that do to the locker room? See, these are the kind of things that happen. You're talking about if I put a player on the block and then take him off the block, what kind of reaction will he have? Will he be like, oh, it's nothing? Will he be like, wait a minute, what you trying to say? What you trying to point out, coach? What you trying to say? Am I not good enough? What about, you cut that Hall of Famer off and you bring in the Rook? You see what I'm saying? Like, these are impactful things, man. I don't trust that rookie, man. I don't know if I wanted him to be on my team. You know what? I ain't going to re-up next year. Man, you know what, coach? I want to trade up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we winning, but it ain't the same, dog. It ain't the same the way it was before, man. Come on, dog. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? So, looking at it here, recreating these scenarios. Ooh, okay, there we go. Recreating these scenarios require the creation of personality system personality system that gives the player some degree of agency. See what I'm saying? So team players like Edelman may be more likely to take roster disruptions and drops in their usage in stride, but volatile personalities may trigger crises that coach, general managers need to resolve. Some of these may be gameplay based. If a talented receiver is frozen out for 3 games, he may demand you give him the ball. If you don't, he'll demand trades. See, this is what I'm saying. And see, D-Dot, we've already, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said that in the very beginning. We already know it sounds good on paper, bro. All of it sounds great on paper. But we also have to see how it carries out. I tweeted that out and everything. We already know that. This is with any game, especially when it comes to Electronic Arts. Okay, with knowing their record and their history. We understand that. But this is still good stuff that is they're actually going for this. Like, that's the key here. They're going for it. Now, how they execute, that's a whole nother thing. But if they execute this, I'm happy. And gameplay is the key. So this is just one piece. Gameplay is the key. Core gameplay is everything. But this part right here, this counts. Because now, let's say the gameplay's on point. Now, what about the olive branches? What about the branches now? How are those all? Then we look at franchise mode. Okay, we got some decent gameplay. And we got some nice, a nice organic franchise mode here to work with. So now we got something good to go. You see what I mean? So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. We got to see how final game is at the end of the day. Even when they do the streams and do the deep dives, all that stuff, same deal. So we still got to see it all. So let me see here. Let me see. All right. So yeah, he demands a trade. Even when it comes to the offseason, If you franchise tag a guy, there's a risk that he'll just retire or demand a trade. You should feel that weight when making these choices instead of sorting a spreadsheet and going, he's not that good. There's got to be risk reward to this stuff to make you feel the immersion of it. Exactly. If you're the GM that doesn't like surprises, this may affect your approach, how you approach drafting. Maybe you'll pass on a temperamental player with more potential upside for the peace of mind knowing that your pick won't lead or revolt against your leadership. See, that kind of stuff right there is what makes me think, like, I wonder how they have this system set up. How's it all going to flow? What's the ebb and flow of this? That's you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff that has me excited. Okay, they have scenarios that can arise on the fly, give you player boosts, small goals with meaningful rewards. So if your team's struggling, perhaps a locker room leader calls a players only meeting to give a boost to the position group. And see, this is what I'm saying. Now, is the coaching going to be position group based as well? You know, are there going to be position group? Like, what about when it comes to practicing? Are there going to be position group based kind of stuff? A la NFL 2K5. That's stuff that we've talked about in the past. You know, so... excuse me. Like, are we going to have stuff like that? And I mean, they started to do something with it with Madden 25, but there wasn't a lot of depth to it. So, let's see. And then even decisions like this. You got a short week, practice to earn more XP, or give them a week off, give them the time off to boost morale. If young players have a good game, you may trigger a breakout scenario that issues specific goals for next game. If you meet it, the player could earn a dev trait increase mid-season, jumping his trait status from normal to star. This is what I'm saying. This is good stuff. Good stuff. Hunter Iggy, hey, what's up, Hunter? How you doing, man? And yeah, even what you said, Haitian man, same deal. Players ask for sit downs when they're unhappy. Like, see, and that affects team chemistry. Exactly. So it's flexible to incorporate more variables. One thing, and this right here is the big ticket item right here for me. This is the big deal right here. One thing we're excited about is planning to add content throughout the year. This is what got me giddy. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Update for franchise mode during the course of the season. You have elements you could do that with. Adding content throughout the year. This will be the first time we've ever done updates for the franchise throughout the system, throughout the season. Exactly. What's up, C-Mad? How you doing, man? Exactly. Like, we needed that. See, and folk be going online talking about something, man, we got to make this pay to play. No, you don't. No, you don't. Get out of here with all that. All these other franchise modes and the depth they have and everything. We talking about Madden got to make it pay to play to make it happen. No, you don't. EA has to invest in this stuff and make it happen. I don't need to hear any of that. So talking about something they need to do. No, they don't. I don't ever want to hear that garbage again. That's one of the. I'm sorry. That's like a slap in the face. Talking about something you got to pay to. Well, if you pay, we'll give you a scenario engine and all that. Man, get the heck out of here. No, I don't think so, bruh. That's corny as all get up. NBA Live 20 have the same thing as Madden 20. No. I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they do that. They're behind, and that's the thing. They have to build theirs. If they do something like that, that'll be phenomenal. But it will really be phenomenal. But I don't think they'll do. I don't think they're gonna go that far. Not at least not yet. You know what I mean? All right. So then now, when they talk about the scheme fit, okay, now they added the schemes. To me, the scheme fit stuff felt really placebo. It didn't really matter, in my opinion. It didn't really matter. And that's basically what they're talking about here. Star players who were dynamic enough to excel in several schemes wouldn't receive the scheme fit XP to boost their top rated skill. wasn't scheme fit appropriate. This system isn't going away in Madden 20, but they hope to smooth out the roughest patches. So they revisited the archetype system in terms of providing more flexibility in terms of how teams can be built, and the reduced XP bonus associated with scheme fits. If a player is not a fit, then their progression will be slightly lower, but it will no longer feel crippling. That's good. I'm not sure this addresses the issue, but we won't know for sure until they spend more time with it. Alright. Then they talk about the RPOs, run pass option into the game, which necessitates the creation of some new scheme types. This year's game introduces 3 new offensive schemes in the midst. The West Coast spread is all about keeping defenses on their toes with quick strike horizontal passes. This attack also opens up running lanes for quarterbacks. Pistol is a shotgun-based formation that allows attackers to target the weak side of the field with runs or passes. Air raid is a heavy no-huddle system that requires the quarterback to make quick adjustments at the line of scrimmage. They're adding more variety in the defensive schemes with 4 new defensive schemes. Coaches who want to slow down attacking offenses apply the 4-3 cover 3, which is designed to only allow small gains. Teams who want to pressure the quarterback can try the 3-4 storm scheme, provided they have the speed up front and linebackers who can jump passing routes. Another counter to spread is 4-3 quarters, better known as cover 4. The last new scheme is 3-4 disguise, which is predicated on confusing the quarterback with symmetrical lineups and disguise concepts. See, this is good. They're adding these things in, but how is it all going to come together? How's it all going to work? That's why we haven't seen. We got to see how the game plays and things like that. He said, "Guitar, life, side giving up. Don't let the college football aspect fool you." I mean, I'm not worried about superstar mode, to be quite honest. And just as a little side note, just to let it be known, you can play. You don't have to do the quarterback thing. The only thing that sucks about it is that if you pick a different position, you're not going to get to go through the route of all the different things, play through college, play the national championship game, go through all that. You're not going to go through all those exact same steps, but you can create a different player. It doesn't have to be specifically the quarterback. That's the thing that sucks, but you know, I mean, I don't know what they're going for. If it's an initial, like, we're gonna test this out in the first year with building this system just for the quarterback, and then they can branch out and make it bigger to elaborate across various positions in the future. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I mean, hey, you know, like I said, I respect if you feel good. If you feel EA ain't cutting it, hey, it is what it is, man. Like, leave it alone. Don't bother with it at all. So the defensive schemes, we gotta see how the defensive works, and that, once again, that's tying directly into all this is tying directly into how the game plays on the defensive side of the ball. We got to see how that works, and that's why this is exactly. And what's up, guys? Speed, what's going on, man? This is exactly why I'm saying. I'm like, this is exactly why I'm saying it is what it is. We gotta see. What's up, CDJ256? What's going on, man? How you doing? Cashville, what's up? Yeah, see, understand. Look. Let me reiterate this point. I know. Look, they should have been done it, but we've said that. Man, they should have been had this, and they should have been had that, because back on PS2, back on Xbox, back here, this game there, we've said it. So we already understand that. So it's like, when they're actually doing it, if we're gonna still sit up here and say, man, they should have had this, we know that. So where do we go? So when they start to do it, now what do we do? Now what do we say? You know what I mean? Do we continue saying the same exact thing, or what? Like, or do we act like a dog chasing his tail and just keep making the same point over and over and over again? Or do we actually start to progress the conversation onward now? Yes, the game doesn't have everything that we need it to have, but they're moving it in that direction. It's like, thank you. I hope that we can stop having these conversations about the minute stuff, and now let's see them. Now we can have a next level conversation, and then have another next level convo. Like that's what needs to happen. But it all has to start at a ground zero, and even if it's ground zero right now, fine. Let's see what they do, and then based upon what they do, now we have that discussion about let's take it to the next level, and the next level, and the next level. That's it, man. So let me see. Ground zero in 2019. Yep, ground zero in 2019, Godspeed. Yep, sure is. I don't care. You know, like if you want to be, like I said, some people want to stay on the I'm just gonna stay mad and be grumpy on it because of what year it is. Stay on that. Stay on that. But if they're moving, if they're making the move, I'm not gonna sit there and just be I'm just gonna sit here and just be grumpy because it's 2019 and everything's out there. I've done all kind of rants, all kind of videos. Sim has done all kind of rants. We've done all that stuff. And we still currently make these points because we're like, dude, they need the game to be there. We've done all that. So it's like when I read this, it's like, oh snap, they're trying to do this and that and that and this. Everything I've went through so far, why would I be disappointed? When I've made, I don't know how many videos, when I've done live streams busting out old Maddens and saying, yo, that stuff, man, we should have that in our game now. If they're doing it, then okay, awesome. I'm glad they're doing it. And we needed it to happen. Yes, we needed it to happen yesteryear. We already know that the powers that be are the ones that stop these guys from doing it. That's not, so what are we gonna do about it? We done the we done the online petitions that ain't mean jack squat because a lot of those people that sign those petitions buy Madden anyway. People talk about the whole Save 65 thing and not buying the game. A lot of those people that say Save 65 and I'm not messing with Madden and not buying it, they buy it. And in a good number of those cases, you said I just given up. How did I give up? I'm like, what did I give up? I'm like, how did I give up? Like that doesn't make any sense. See, these are the kind of things. These are the kind of things I'm talking about. When change starts, when there's any potential change at all that starts to happen, and we're just not sitting in the exact same spot, chasing our tails, saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again because something's not there. Now it's like you giving up. Oh, you fell off. Oh, you're not real. Oh, you're not this. And it's like, man, whatever. I ain't sweating any of that. This is the kind of stuff that we've needed in the game that we gave praise to when everybody else does it. We give praise to, but then now when Madden is even talking about doing it, now it's time to act like it's a problem when somebody speaks positive about it. Like, no, you can have all that. I want this game to hit, and I want this to be great altogether. You know what I mean? And it's something that they have to build. The points that I've been making for years don't change today. Just because they put this out. I mean, oh, you know what? Nix everything I've been saying for years about this. I've said it's going to take them years to get this game on track. Even when they start to ride that train on the appropriate track, I never said it's still going to take them years to get it. That doesn't change. This is just one installment. That means that the next Madden after that, they're going to have to continue that. It's not just going to be 1 year and then, oh, they did it. No, it's multiple years. So it is what it is, man. No, I don't sound like the game didn't start in the 90s. That's your interpretation, but I can't help how you choose to interpret things. You know what I'm saying? And you've been listening to me stream, so I mean I don't even know why you're saying that, guys. But that's you. That's on you, fam. You know, it's all good though. Hey, what's up? What's up, Havario? What's going on, man? How you doing, bro? And you said what now, CDJ? I want to make sure I'm trying to answer y'all questions, you know, as we go along. They need to change the names of some of the positions. Okay. I'm not buying it. I'll rent and try it out. Hey, by all means, I don't know how many times I said to do that. Hey, do it. Do it. Please do it. You know what I'm saying? Please do it. Please rent. You know what I mean? Rent, Redbox, all that. If your friend got it and you can go to their house and play it or whatever, if they'll share play it with you on PSN or whatever the case, do it. Do it. Well, what's going on? What's going on, Luke? What's happening, man? All right, now continuing on here. Okay, so, oh man, hopefully you don't have an interruption here. Hold up, I have to take this phone call. Hold up, y'all. All right, you guys. All right, so I'm gonna have to step away for just a moment. I gotta help the missus out with some stuff, but I'm gonna be back and I'm gonna finish this up though. Like I said, with franchise mode, right? Like with franchise mode. Oh, here we go. So they said this is a key thing right here with the superstar abilities. Like I gotta touch on the abilities next. Too many years has been too little player differentiation when playing CPU opponents. Whether you're squaring off against future Hall of Fame quarterback or a shell-shocked rookie, chances are they'll complete a high percentage of short yardage passes and rarely do anything that mimic the ability of real-world counterparts. I feel like with franchise, it's highlighting it all. I feel like with franchise that a lot of people just like to play against the CPU and try to crank out Super Bowls and get to the draft, and they don't enjoy playing other people. But it felt like week to week there wasn't a difference between who you played. You weren't really that scared about playing Tom Brady and the Pats. This could change, and that's the key word. The key word here, guys, is could. Could change. When it comes to gameplay, could change. When it comes to these franchise mode stuff, could. You know what I mean? So, this is the kind of stuff that we gotta find out and see. So, you said this could change with the addition of superstar skills and X Factor players. This pool of more than 70 new and play like NFL hits, but let's just say NFL blitz. Guess he got that mixed with NHL. But rather accentuate the unique abilities of the league's star players. Pat Mahomes now has unique animations, and that's key right there. How long have we been saying that needs to happen? Patrick Mahomes now has unique animations that let him escape the pocket more quickly than his counterparts, as well as new abilities that raise his accuracy throwing on the run and across his body. Tom Brady can diagnose the defense quickly and find the first open target much faster than other QBs. Ben Roethlisberger has a deadly pump fake that can disrupt your coverages and spring his receivers open. Same goes for the other side of the ball. If Tiburon succeeds, and that's big if Tiburon succeeds in its goals with this new system, you won't be able to simply ignore studs like Khalil Mack or Aaron Donald anymore. That's the key, man. That's the key thing, man. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, do you think weather will come into gameplay eventually? I would hope so eventually. See, asking is the AI driven. The gameplay blog's not out yet. The gameplay stuff won't be out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'll pull up the photo so that way you can see the stream schedule when they talk about all that. I mean, asking that kind of question right now, we don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? He said, and this is a key right here. Will EA Sports continue down this road, this path moving forward, or reverse course and change different feature set next year? That danger always exists, but Young says he has no plans. See, that's the whole thing. He has no plans, but what about the company? What will the company say? Are they going to allow this to continue? He said, but Young says he has no plans to neglect franchise mode next year. Franchise has to come back to being a big focus on the game, and it will continue to be, Young says. We just want to add as much depth and immersion to it, so we're starting to think about it more like a sports RPG. See, like always, everything sounds great on paper, but we got to see how the overall execution. You're just not talking about executing when this game comes out August 2nd. We're talking about execution Madden 21, Madden 22, and so on and so forth. So this is going well beyond just what can happen this year. So we got to see. He says, so why gas it? Who's gassing anything? Who gassed it? See, that's what I'm saying, guys. You're on a whole nother page, man. I don't know where you're at, bro. So here, I'm gonna get into this gameplay aspect here that they're talking about. No one's gassing anything though. Like, that's the whole thing. I'm literally going through an article where they're, never mind. You know, you should grasp it. You should get what I'm saying, man. Like, this isn't gassing at all. I'm literally going over what's in the articles, and just because I'll showcase some kind of satisfaction, that doesn't mean gassing. What? I should just sit here and be mad? Like, come on, man. But hold up. I'll be right back, you guys. Gotta help the missus out. She just walked in, so I'll be right back, and I'm gonna cover the rest of this. Alright guys, I'm back. Okay, sorry about that. Alright. Get more positions instead of the QB. Better late than never, right? Exactly, Judah. Okay. Bring Superstar back, right?
This is a Chucky Beat production.
Okay. Probably go back to the Ignite. Frostbite has so many issues. Okay. I mean, going back to Frostbite. I mean, going back to Ignite wouldn't have.
This is a Chucky Beat production.
You know, it's not the end all be all. Cause think about it. Even though Madden went to Frostbite, did it resolve all their problems? Did it fix all the core problems? No, it still didn't. You know what I'm saying? So you said same thing since Madden 06. Well, you said same thing since Madden 06. Well, I mean, what was it that they lost going from Madden? What was it, Madden 13 to that Madden 25? Because you know Madden 25 came out on Gen 4 consoles. So James, like, what did they lose? Like, what fell off? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see gameplay elements fall off when they made that transition. If anything, they went up. So I can't, you know, get mad at that. But okay, so now this is the part that matters the most to me and to many of us across the board is core gameplay. All right. So now this isn't talking about everything. You know, they're just they don't touch on everything here. So, matter of fact, let me see. Does it? Oh no, it only brings this up. Hold on. I'll open that in another tab because I will touch on that face of the franchise stuff. But yeah, this is it right here. Okay, so regarding the past gameplay issues, let's get into this here, guys. So, announced Madden 20, sweet sounding features, and they talk about basically introduction here. So last year's title was it was very buggy, plenty of issues. Game was unplayable, very unplayable. I was extremely disappointed from when the game was in beta. The beta that they put out, that was much better than the way the game was all in all when it came to, I would say, after that first update. Like, the game was absolutely messed up at that point. Now, you can't just play, you can play more than just the QB. The thing is that the whole story, the mode is attached to the quarterback. So all the feature stuff and everything is attached to the QB specifically. Okay? So that's the thing about it. So when you want to play like the national title game, going through all the extra bell and whistle kind of stuff, that's going to be attached specifically to the quarterback. But you can do other positions. So you're not just stuck to just one. And that's it. Let's see. Playing campaigns, yeah, running game, blocking, catching, defensive play, all that was problematic. Okay. So it's probably going to be a laundry list of things the community would get excited about. I think we did a lot with the animations. It's a cleaner and more bug-free game. So it's like, that's interesting, but you know, once again, time's actually going to tell. We actually have to see what the game is going to bring forth, like in that regard. One thing they did was to address bugs in gameplay. One of the structural things the team did to improve the game was to address bugs and tune gameplay as they went along instead of trying to do it all at the end of development. Young says the game was playable earlier than ever, and this has helped them fix more bugs than previous years, which is a good thing because I've been to the studio multiple times over the years and everything, and when they showcase those bug lists and everything like that, I mean, they're like massively long lists of stuff that they try to address. And I mean, they've shown pics of it in different videos and everything. You'll see they'll have like an Excel spreadsheet of it's just a list, just tons of stuff that they try to address, and they're unfortunately unable to address it in one shot. So here. So Young says the shifted development timeline has resulted in a gameplay feature that's being internally play tested. It's under wraps. It was first meant to fix a legacy issue, but actually became a new way to maybe play. Hopefully the feature makes the beta as planned. See, that, you know what I'm saying? When you're saying stuff like that, it's like, we'll see. That's what I'm saying. And that's one thing too there, James, like what you're saying. Just wait and see. Don't necessarily jump out there. If it ain't there for you yet, don't pre-order. Leave it alone. You know what I mean? Don't go for it. Don't go for it. With Modern with the run pass option. Run pass option plays were conspicuously absent last year. Especially on the back of the Eagles, popularizing. Okay. First RPOs were too big to include, but Young says it was prototype, polished, and added. Young thinks the result is going to be big for the teams that have RPOs in their playbooks, along with the superstar and X-Factor abilities for the top players. He believes RPOs are going to give teams multiple strategies to win games, whether that's in your franchise or Ultimate Team mode. Cool. Okay. And we still got to see, and I mean, all of it right now is grain of salt taking right now because, and even with the franchise stuff, everything we talk about is just grain of salt. We got to see how it ultimately plays out. So speaking of playbooks, they won't have a play creator feature, but they'll be updated through the year. And overall, Young says they have more variety this year, especially with the RPO, which this was debunked right here. Clint spoke of it on Twitter saying that this was not being taken out. So that's incorrect. That's an incorrect statement. Madden 20 has it on its plate, and fixing its lingering gameplay issues and adding RPOs will hopefully make the game feel and play differently. See, hope, ifs, maybes, possibles, you know what I mean? That's where we all should be at. Not, they're going to do it, it's going to be great, and they're going to... No one's doing any of that kind of hype. That right there is gassing. That right there is hyping. I'm not doing that at all. No one's doing that, right? No one's doing that. So I really hope they have this year's Madden pushing off teammates with the run game instead of you running into a teammate, lose complete control. Yeah. No, I agree with you there, Havario. I agree with you. All right, so that's it with that article there. So, all right, franchise mode we already did. Here, I'll touch on this real quick. This is talking about that whole face of the franchise mode. Long shot. And just for people that are talking about, they had long shot before and then they took that out. Understand, when it comes to the long shot, that was something that was, as Rex had spoke about it before, their hand was forced. They were instructed, you have to do long shot now. They didn't want to do long shot. At least not yet. They didn't want to do that yet. Their hand was forced to go ahead and do that. See what I'm saying? So, that's something they couldn't help. And it was shown, the results are shown. So, after translations, next on Sunday. Madden's new career mode, Phase 2 QB1, can relate with becoming a dominant starting QB. Okay, Face of the franchise plays out like the stories in 2K's career mode. Earlier on, deliver stories, beats through cinematics, actual field games, stick skills, and career. After the prologue of your NFL career plays out, the focus shifts on cinematics and more dynamic story delivered mostly through branching dialogue. Mode looks at your accomplishments and failures and builds a story around them. That's what's up. Choice is also important. That's probably the key differentiator between a long shot and this. This is about personalization. Okay. Let me see. After customizing your face, choosing one of the 3 voices available, you pick one of the 10 colleges in the game. For your pressure debut, reporters hit you with questions. What legend you look up to. Your choice will lay the foundation for your QB archetype. That's what's up. When they ask you, your high school teammates will describe you. It helps define your personality type. When you flame out in the first playoff game, if you flame out, you can kiss your dreams of being a first round pick behind. Lead your program to a championship with a commanding performance, and your stock naturally rises. Once playoff run is complete, head to the combine. We perform a series of drills and answer some tough questions from GMs. Combined with your field performance, your numbers in the Underwear Olympics, and how you conduct yourself with league decision makers will determine where your draft likely to land. And see, this is cool. I like this kind of stuff and everything. Let me see here. I'm just trying to gloss over this real quick. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Crack the start lineup. Like one shot, in the league, another story, the whole first season is going to feel like there's a storyline. Hope is that everybody feel like they had a different storyline about how they played, different decisions. You know, the players may challenge you during the course of your career, which could allow you to earn one of their superstar abilities. That's nice. Think of these as you could swap in and out depending upon the game scenario. Some give you straight up ability like Bazooka, lets you throw up to 80 yards when you're in the zone. Others are more about being a savvy field general, like Hot Route Master skill. That gives you 4 additional hot routes to choose while making pre-play adjustments. You can earn up to 7 abilities in face of the 7 superstar abilities in face of the franchise, allowing you to experiment with the skills that best match your play style. It's not about getting a 99 overall anymore. It's about trying different loadouts. It's a lot more like an action adventure game when you're unlocking different abilities, and maybe this one suits the way you play more, and it's what you like. Alright. Here it is. This is what I was looking for in it. This is the key. That's the key part I was looking for. This part of it right here. So, it's story modes featured based on novel threads popularized in the NFL. Then move on to the next. To develop. Hopefully NBA is getting something. Yeah, that would be nice if they did get something like that, Judah. That would be real nice. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is the main point right here that I'm getting at. Is this that I want to say, like, narrowed, and a lot of people, just so that people understand, if you aren't interested in being a signal caller and rather play another position, Madden 20 makes that option available for you as well. You won't have the college, combine, or draft day experience going that route, but the scenario engine will still sprinkle story threads throughout your career. So you'll still encounter some stuff. It's just not as high of a clip if you went with that traditional QB1 storyline, you know, that's in game like that. So you can play other positions. You're not just stuck. The focus is on the quarterback, this, at least with this year's game, but you know, it can get more dynamic as they go along. And I mean, this is still building out a mode. Like, let's say if this is very successful, then let's say next year they do defense. You know, you got a defensive player on the cover. then going forward, let's say they just pepper it with other positions and stuff, and then now you have a system that's built all the way out. Just saying, like, that's, that's cool, and I'm like, I don't have a problem with that because they got to build it out anyways. It's not going to happen in one shot. So let's go to the last aspect here, which is the ability system here. Okay. All right. So, like Antonio Brown. Hold on. Let me see here. Hold on. Something I'm gonna. Okay, let me see. Hold on, I'm just checking something out here, you guys. Okay, that just is. Let me find it here. Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just looking for something to bring up because I think this additional element is necessary, so that way people can fully understand as far as what these abilities, are necessary for. Pass. Okay. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I'll keep this up here. I'll keep this handy. All right, so I'm gonna reference the APF stuff, APF abilities, and everything in this as well. So just not yet, but I'm gonna reference that as a point in here though. Hey, what's going on, Cal? How you doing, man? So let's take a look. All right, so love superstars like team lifting QBs like Tom Brady to game-changing wideouts like AB, QB crunching monsters like Aaron Donald, but Madden hasn't replicated that basically, and they haven't. They truly haven't. That diversification has been lacking for the longest time. This year's Superstar X Factor hopes to address that, not only to make these players feel like the stars they are, but also influence Madden across the modes across the board, which we've already talked about that in franchise mode, and everything. We've already touched on all that. Okay, it's a star-driven league. You had to see the Rams and Chiefs. You had to see Donald play. You had to see Matt play. Okay. How can the game go beyond ratings? I think ratings are good at the measurables. It says the combine type stats like speed, for instance, but Tom Brady has never been a great quarterback in Madden. What we've done is try to differentiate quarterbacks and give them the unique things based on their archetype. You have to do this. And for people that get upset about this, it's like Madden 08 in a way. Yeah, exactly. Like, at least on paper. We don't know how it all is going to come together, but at least on paper, yes, exactly, Cal. Exactly. It's like Madden 08. Madden 08 and APF and all that. There's 70 superstar abilities in game. Some players have none, some have multiple. These are shaped by real life players in-game player archetypes, thus you're not going to see a slower bruising running back get abilities related to nimble backs. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Now, once again, we got to see how it all comes together though. But slot machine ability gives the receiver better separation at the line and catching ability versus contact for short routes from the slot position. I like that. Vikings receiver Adam Thielen has this ability. Pocket QBs like Tom Brady with the protected ability get more time in the pocket from their offensive linemen engaged in blocks during drop back passes. Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald has the fearmonger ability. This lets him apply pressure to QBs even when Donald is engaged in a block. That makes sense. That's the kind of stuff Sue was doing when he was in the Lions uni. You know what I mean? So yes, some are dependent on the time and the game situation. For example, Brady's clutch ability not only reduces the requirement for him to get in the zone on that below, but it makes it impossible for him to be knocked out of the zone halfway through the fourth quarter in a close game. See, they're trying to bring things into the game that replicate close to what happens in real life. Most of these abilities will have counter abilities across the line of scrimmage so that there are known automatic victories on the field, but you obviously want to pay extra attention to these players. To this end, players with superstar abilities will be marked so everyone knows. Sweet. They're just a start. There's plenty of great players in the league, but those that are cut above, the X Factor players will have at least 2 superstar abilities, but will have a zone ability that'll get them into the zone. When they talk about their extra abilities are heightened, yeah, okay. There are about 28 offensive and 22 defensive players, with no special teamers or offensive linemen among them. X Factor players have to play themselves into the zone for it to activate. For example, if he catches 4 rack catches of 20 yards or more, he's in the zone. When he's in the zone, he'll usually win single coverage rack passes with an animation that gives him an advantage in that situation. See, I hope that there's, a give or take kind of deal in that regard. So that way, even though like, let's say a player gets into the zone, but I put my superstar, if I have like Darius Slay and I put him on Juju, just because he's in his X Factor zone mode, I can still have a potential chance of breaking up the pass. But if let's say if I have him manned up and then I put a safety over top and the ball is still thrown to him, he's not every single time he's in the zone, he's going to come down with the ball. That's the kind of thing right there where we got to look at it and say, hopefully that's not the case. But as you can see here as well, when in the zone, Cam's tackle breaker allows him to break the first tackle attempt against him. Mahomes' bazooka allows him to throw the ball 80 yards. Tom Brady has a quick read ability that highlights first open receiver with a bigger on the field icon. These zone abilities are powerful, but they also can be turned off. It deactivates when he either scores a touchdown or he's sacked. So, see, this right here is cool because this part right here is going to be pretty key. Because when you're seeing the player play and he's in his zone, he can be knocked out of it. So what would be knocking a wide receiver out of it? What about knocking a defender out of it? What about, you see what I mean? So I hope it's for all positions. You're going to be able to knock them out of it essentially. They just don't stay in it regardless of what you do to them. Abilities just aren't in franchise mode and play now. Ultimate team and all that in face of the franchise. Okay. What we're finding is that it made a lot more teams a lot more interesting to play. Right now, people in the office love playing with the Browns. It's hard to say. I wonder why. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to say as a Steelers fan, but they're probably one of the cooler teams because they have superstar guys on both sides of the ball. That makes sense. Okay, additional X Factor players can be added during the year. The team says it's still figuring out the cadence of when that might be. Young says perhaps 5 times during the year. Players may gain or lose X Factors during the season, but they want to keep it around 50 of them in total. Yeah, because I know some people going to see week 1, player does well, and all of a sudden, oh, he needs to update him immediately. It's like, I think that they should just do it, if they're going to do it roster update wise, I think they should do it quarterly per season. Like, first 4 weeks, these are the people that are standing out. Or either quarterly or do it every 2 NFL weeks in the season. Every 2 weeks. Because if they absolutely crush it the first week, then if they still crush it the second week, then give them the ability. You know what I'm saying? Because some people will have a redonkulous game and then all of a sudden they just fall off, and then they play normal. So let's see. Most superstar abilities a non-X Factor player can have is 2. Okay, yep, they have 2 plus their ability. Okay, yep, we already talked about that. They can be swapped around. These still adhere to an overall archetype, so you can't build an overpowered player. So they still, okay, so even if you have different abilities and you want to assign them, you just can't slap them on all over the place and just do it all willy-nilly. So it does matter how you approach it. All right, cool. What's up, Justino? What's happening with you? So, okay, cool. Maybe harder for X Factor players to get into the zone in comp versus arcade. They're included in an ultimate team as designated by an additional tab on the player item. Details around these aren't fully known at this point, but Young says you'll be able to respect abilities and get some points back. Sounds similar to last year's power-up item training point. Okay. Not all abilities will be widely available. Roethlisberger has the pump fake ability, but he might be just 1 or 2 QBs in the whole game. See, this right here reminds me exactly of like what APF 2K8 did, because not everybody had every ability. You see what I'm saying? Like the scrambling ability, for example. Scrambling was something that was an ability that only Randall Cunningham had. When it came to Dan Marino's pass trajectory with his laser arm, you could give laser arm to other players, other quarterbacks, but the way Dan Marino threw the ball, not just his animation, but the velocity and everything, it was true to him and only him. No one else had it. That kind of stuff that I'm talking about. The high helmet tackle, only Deacon Jones had that. You see what I'm saying? Only Deacon Jones had that tackle. No one else did. Walter Payton with his stutter step, with his skip, juke, his high step juke that he had. Only he had it. No one else had it. That kind of stuff, like doing those kind of things, that's critical. Abilities are highlighted on the field in pre-play so that way they can see them. Yes, you also being able to chart how close a player is from getting into the zone. Some players with superstar abilities also have special animations like Aaron Rodgers throwing on the run from his tippy toes. These are the kind of things that we're talking about here. We need a lot more of that across the board. This is a good start potentially, but we need to see this happen and grow throughout the whole thing. Just keep on blossoming it out and blow it all the way out, man. Need to make it where they put in weather and stadium noise and fix scouting and fix contracts. I firmly agree. He said, I'm loving these concepts. Me too, Justino. Until they have competition, this game will be all about mud. Okay, every company's about money. That's neither here nor there. They had these features. They had these dumb features, but never talk about gameplay. They talked about gameplay, but they touched on gameplay a little bit here. I mean, they didn't go all in. This is an article. Maybe you need to check it out. I don't know, but they did touch on the gameplay a little bit. Oh, let me see. This is it. Yeah, they touch on it a little bit here. So I don't know. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know about it just hoops. But I mean, hold on. Hold on just a second, man. Hold up. Here. Here, let me show y'all something here, okay? All right, y'all see this in the middle? Y'all see this in the middle of the screen here? All right, so as you guys are able to see right there, that's the stream schedule. Okay, they're gonna be doing community streams on this game. Twitch, Madden NFL, all that good stuff, right? Let me whiteboard this so that way it's crystal clear. Right here, circle this date. May 23rd, deep dive. Okay? May 23rd, gameplay deep dive. Alright? If you want to see about the abilities, May 9th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. There it is right there. That's when they're gonna swan dive into it. So I mean, at the in the meantime, I mean, I don't know what to I don't know what else to say. That's why I'm like, the main thing that I care about is this right here. That's it. That's it. I have no reason to believe. I mean, you know what the most intriguing thing and the most beautiful thing about this is, Just Hoops. When the game comes out, you can rent it. You could watch this blog just because you watch this stream. That doesn't mean, oh well, I guess I gotta buy it. No. Just look and see what they do. If it's even if you even give a care to entertain it, then go ahead and Redbox it. Gamefly it. See if it's even worth it to you. And if it is, cool. If it's not, leave it on the shelf, move on and enjoy gaming. Enjoy what games what's gonna be satisfying to you. And it's simple as that, man. What's up, NBA Live girl? How you doing, sis? So that's it, man. And that's perfectly fine. Now look, I'm not saying, like I said at the very beginning of this, EA is in a spot with their games where they're essentially guilty till proven innocent. They're guilty till proven innocent. They gotta prove it. They have to rebuild faith in the community, in a consumer base. They have to do it. They have to do it. It's not on us. It's on them. It's on Electronic Arts. They have to build it. So the only way they can show and prove is by talking about it, showcasing it in streams and stuff like that. And then when the game launches August 2nd, we have the chance to go out and find out for ourselves if the game is worthwhile or not. If it's not, go. But me though, if this stuff works and it works well at a high efficiency rate clip, I'm happy. That's the whole thing. No one's giving. Click on the franchise tab. Hey, what's up? What's up, Ultimate Sim Nation? What's going on? Beast Mode, what's happening? Said the best in case future behavior is past behavior. Okay. So I guess if somebody's a criminal, well, I guess once they're a criminal, they're always a criminal then, right? By what you're saying. They can't refine at all. They have no chance of being better. You know what I mean? Like, and like I said, you be mindful. I'm not saying you don't just walk in and be naive. You be mindful of what it is that they do, but at the same time, you still got to get you have to see what it is what they output. You know what I'm saying? So what's my man Kia? What's up, Kia? What you talking about? Oh, I'll put it back on the franchise. So you want to see the franchise? I mean, I already went through it. I should add the link to the description. I'll add the link. As a matter of fact, here. Put it in here. Here you go. There's a link. I just sent it in there. So if you want to check it out yourself, you can look at it. I mean, they talked about it. I spent a good amount of time talking about it already. So I mean, you can just read through it as you get a chance to. But I mean, they talk about the scenario engine. They talk about the abilities, the X Factor abilities and everything, tying it into the system, things like that. Then they talk about the scheme fits. doing some work on that, along with incorporating RPOs and some defenses that they've added in there as well. So, let's see. So it sounds problematic. You're being patient, waiting to see what they're all about. Community is really good at anticipating what will be overpowered, and break the game. Yeah, I mean, that's what you know. You know, the thing is, Kia. That's with all these games, dude. That's with all these games. At the end of the day, the thing is, Madden has to get when it's like when NBA 2K does it. They have all the problematic stuff in their game, yet they still keep on doing it. UFC, NHL, all of them, they all have their problems, and they continue on with it anyways. So it's like now Madden is getting on that page, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, all these things are going to be problematic. Okay, well, then that's just the territory that they went into, and it's something they're going to have to work through. It's just like what 2K has to do, and everybody else has to do. They all have to deal with it. So it's like they have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they still deal with it anyways, and they continue to make their games. Like Madden needs to get in there and get up on that level. Like it can't just be, you know, like, well, if there's a problem, all is lost kind of deal. Like, and I'm not saying you're saying that, Kia, or anyone else. I'm just saying that we gotta quit. We gotta quit acting like we gotta quit with the approach of if EA implements it, how cheesy is it gonna be? So what? It needs to happen. It you know what I mean? Do it and just figure that stuff out along the way. Just do it. It's been too long without this stuff happening. It needs to happen. Hey, get it. Like it needs to go down. You know what I mean? But yeah. And he said, somebody said about NBA Live. He said they need to do NBA Live needs to do the same thing. I mean, I don't know why NBA Live wouldn't do it. I don't know what NBA Live's plan is. You know, I don't know what NBA Live is going to do. Maybe they will do something like that. But, you know, it's big for EA to announce it with Madden. You know what I mean? Like, so I appreciate that. Can't have RPO without a run pass read, for example. Right, exactly, Kia. And that's what I'm saying. Like, all of this talk right now is great. It's more of grain of salt talk. We just need to see what's going to be done. How's it all going to come together and work? That's it. You know what I mean? That's the big deal. That's the big deal for me. Like, for example, you know, you look at the APF abilities, like some people are fretting off of these abilities and stuff like that being added, like, oh, I can't believe they did it. I'm like, dude, this goes to show a lot of people ain't really play APF like that. If you actually played APF, that's like saying if you had a quarterback that has, let's say they have rocket arm, let me see, if they have rocket arm and laser arm, if they have rocket arm, laser arm, yeah, if they had rocket and laser arm abilities attached to them, that's like looking at Pat Mahomes. Oh man, he's going to be able to throw 80 yards. Okay. Do we know about the defense yet? Do we even know about how the core gameplay is going to run? We don't know any of that. It's like, oh no, it's already doom and peril because, like, we don't know yet. We'll see. Maybe that holds true. We got to wait and see. You know what I mean? We'll find out soon enough. So, but yeah, and I mean, like, even what's another one? Pocket presence. Quarterback's is best when he's inside the pocket. It's not the exact same. It's not the exact same. That's like saying if you have a quarterback with pocket presence and an offensive line with stonewall.
This is a
you know, brick wall is a passing blocking ability. Bulldozer is a superior run block skill. But Stonewall gives QB extra composure around him, right? This is like Tom Brady. His offensive line is not the greatest, but at the same time, they hold it down for him. He'll have I mean, he literally just pulled dudes in, and all of a sudden, they know how to block for him decently. He doesn't have an all-pro star-studded offensive line, but yet they get the job done. So it makes sense to give him an ability where he's able to get more time in the pocket. Like maybe it gives a slight boost to the offensive line when those abilities trigger for him. And I'm like, that's Tom Brady. Does that mean you'll never get to the quarterback? No. I seriously hope that the gameplay doesn't translate that way. But that, once again, we got to see what that we have to see what that means, and we're not going to find that out yet until at least until the 23rd. You know, and hey, maybe even on the 9th. We'll see. Maybe on the 9th when they touch on these superstar abilities and all that stuff. Maybe they'll show us some stuff in action. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what that all means. And see, the thing is, I know it's like, oh man, they ain't show gameplay first, so that means it's a problem because they ain't show gameplay yet. It's like, nah, it doesn't mean that doesn't mean all doom and gloom and peril because they ain't show that first. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to showcase. See, they're talking about franchise in this QB1. I didn't even peep that. They're talking about franchise mode. That's gonna be the first thing they talk about. And that's and I'm very happy to see that they're doing that. So next week we're gonna see what's up with franchise mode already. Bet. Then the following week you see the abilities, and then okay, yeah, you got Ultimate Team. You know, that's cool, that's fine. But then you got, because see, look, this is the funny thing. Remember, Ultimate Team usually is mentioned on the back end of everything. They usually mention Ultimate Team on the back end after the gameplay, after the animate, you know, after the gameplay, after the functions, after all the modes and features. They would do Ultimate Team and then do franchise mode last. It would be between this and franchise mode in terms of last announcements. But yet, what do we sit up here and talk about? Oh, they only worried about Ultimate Team all year. So it's not really the positioning. Like, I get it, but it's, you know, it's not in the bad. Like that's fine. As long as whatever it is they talk about, it has to be lit. It has to be lit. And like I said, like I always say, when this game comes out, whether they do a public beta, private beta, whatever, it has to hit. It has to be on point. That's the most critical thing, man. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. And see, stuff that got me interested. Hold on. Let me bring this part up here real quick. Hold up. Am I going to EA Play? No. This year, no, I'm not going to EA Play. I'm not going to EA Play this year, so no, I won't be there. Hey, baby.
I want this toy.
Sure, baby. Here you go, baby. What's going on? Whoops. What's going on, Jumpman? How's it going? Man? I had a little cameo appearance from my daughter in here. Told me to open up a little toy here for her. Here you go, baby.
Aww.
Alright. So I gave that to her. Let me finish this up. Alright. Let me finish this up here real quick, because there isn't really much more to say, but hold on, something I want to pull up here. See, this is the stuff this is what's got me interested.
This is a Chucky Beat production.
Alright, y'all see it on screen here, right? Oh. Hold on, here we go. Now, the thing that I care about the most here, it's not about the 3-day access and all that stuff and everything else. You know, that's all fine and dandy. But this is what I'm curious about here is these here abilities right here, right? This is what I'm curious about. Let me zoom in. Right here. As y'all see it on as you guys are able to see it on screen here. This is what I care about right here. This is what I'm curious about. These abilities. Steve Young, improviser. Kurt Warner, field general. John Elway, strong arm. Randall Cunningham, scrambler. Like, how is it all going to work? You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to know. Like, how is it systematically going to come together? What is it that they're going to do with this? That's what's got me excited in that regard. And see, listen, as much as I've talked about Madden 08 and the ability system in there, as much as we've talked about APF 2K8 and all the stuff that was in there, this is the kind of stuff that I really am curious about. So yes, I look forward to every single one of the streams. Not so much the Ultimate Team. I mean, I'll watch it, you know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, I care about how the game overall plays. If the game overall plays really well and they got a real solid product on their hands, I'm good. You know what I'm talking about? I'm good. Then I won't mind dabbling in the Ultimate Team a little bit, you know, and play some of it. But I'm not going to be a big deal about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal, you know? But this is one thing I'll say, and I'm going to close this stream out. I know that some people are, you know, are like, man, they got to fix the core. They got to fix it. We already know that. We've said that a billion times. We know that. Okay? That's why I'm not even worried about mentioning that. We already know that. I know that. But along with that, if this stuff works and it works well, they got something really, really good to build upon going forward into the future. And see, the beautiful thing for me is that, especially when it comes to interacting with other game changers and all that stuff, we have finally got some meat and potatoes depth to talk about when it comes to franchise play. We have very little to talk about for the longest time. Very little. We're talking about the most minute stuff because there's nothing there. And we're sitting up here trying to figure out how can we manipulate depth. Like how Madden Bomber League. Franchise mode they had very little going on. But then Madden Bomber League, they just created a whole entire environment out of what was not there, what was lacking from what EA was putting out. Now they're going to be like, oh man, they're going to be kids in the candy store now because of everything that potentially is being brought into the fold here. And if everything works well, especially when it comes to playing in an online league. If this system works well in an online league, you know how much life you just pumped a whole lot of life into the mode. Now, that's why I keep the core, the most important point is the core gameplay. The core gameplay is big, okay? That is everything. You get the core gameplay right and you're in a good spot. I'm not saying perfect. I'm not saying flaw free. I'm just saying efficient at a high rate. Like I said years ago, I did a video years ago where I said it's all about core gameplay and innovative efficiency. The core gameplay integrity needs to be sound, but then the innovative elements that you do bring into the fold, they need to be efficient at a high clip. If EA does that, and they execute, and this game is not a shell of itself 4 weeks when the first title update comes around, I hope to goodness that's not what happens. But as long as it can be held true, we got something good, guys. We have ourselves a sound game on our hands. I want NBA Live to be doing the same kind of approach. I know I know some folks looking at this and like, man, how come NBA Live ain't doing something like this? We don't know what they're gonna do, but I hope that there's a lot more community interactivity from the NBA Live team as far as putting out information, details, etc., when it comes to that game, Live 20. Well, you know we all gotta wait and see what they do at the end of the day in that regard. Stable, there are flaws that you can negotiate around. Exactly. Infinite wisdom, exactly. There are flaws you can negotiate around, and then there are flaws that destabilize again. Exactly, Kia. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Give us that stability across the board. I know some things are going to take a hit, but I just don't want this game to just get dropped off the face of the earth. As long as it doesn't get dropped off the face of the earth because folk feel a certain way or whatever, that's it. That's the key thing. That's what has to happen. Give us a stable, balanced, fun game. And guess what will end up happening? Guess what will end up happening? I know it's going to take them a little bit of time, but you'll start to have more people pre-ordering these games and getting these ultimate deluxe editions and all that stuff. But see, this kind of stuff gets my attention. This kind of stuff right here gets my attention looking at this stuff. I'm not worried too much about, everything else. Just give me, I want to see these abilities in action. I want to see all that stuff. Get me excited. Give me a reason to really feel this game and be happy about it. And the one other aspect too, like my man Deuce Douglas, what did he say? Let me pull him up real quick. My man Deuce Douglas made a good point. And I'll close and I'm gonna end it, guys. He made a real good point. This right here, right? The gridiron notes. This is a big deal. Very big deal. This is the kind of stuff that FIFA does. They put out the patch notes. They showcase little video clips showcasing what they did, why they did it, what's changing, how the game is going to change due to this, all that. If this is the stuff that they end up doing, this right here, this kind of stuff, this is absolutely huge, man. Absolutely huge. I seriously hope that this isn't something minuscule and it's a lot of heavy weight added on this, like a lot of good, solid hitting with what they give us. Deep dive into dive into those title updates, dive into those patches. Let us know what's going on, because we all feel like Ultimate Team is the only thing that gets the attention. So now, when we see patches and updates, and we see the rhyme and reason as to why things were done, and it's in detail, and then we play the game and we're like, yo, what's the deal with blah blah blah, whoop de whoop, that helps us have a much better discussion in terms of giving feedback to the dev team accordingly and having those discussions. See, so there's good stuff that can come. There's a lot of good that can come from all of this stuff as far as the direction going forward. EA has to let these guys work at the end of the day. Let these people work. Let these people create and build the game that we deserve, and as long as they continue to do that, we're in a good spot. And see, right now, he said, I'm not hyped as I once was. And hey, I don't blame you, Drizzy. I don't blame anybody for not being hyped and all that. Even my man Godspeed, the way he was saying stuff, man, it's like if you sound happy at all, it's like, man, you sound compromised and stuff like that. And it's like, no, that ain't it at all. I'm not gassing anything up. I'm just like, it's like we're seeing Madden take from the practices that we've seen done by other games. Finally, that I'm happy about. Now, how they execute is a whole nother thing. Like my man Grafster, he got upset saying like, man, they don't need abilities. They don't need any of that. And I'm like, yes, they do. Every other sports game that comes out has abilities. FIFA, PES, NBA 2K, NHL, UFC, even, I know we're talking about wrestling, but WWE has them. Like MLB The Show, all of them. All these games have abilities on their players. Regardless if the system doesn't work the way it needs to, and it's not this set. There's a lot of stuff that people complain about in NBA 2K, and yet look what they have. There's all kinds of things people complain about systematically in FIFA, and yet they still. There's stuff people complain about in PES, yet. See what I'm saying? So it's like it needs to be done. You have to have it. You can't just differentiate everybody with just saying, "Oh, we'll give them these animations and we'll give them these ratings and that's it." You have to do something to give intangibility to these digital counterparts, and that's how you do it. You have to give abilities, man. That's what made APF the game that it was, man. That's how they did it. So I'm gonna end it here. I'm going on, just talking. I'm just talking, but listen, you guys, I appreciate all of y'all coming through and hanging out here with me. Like I said, if y'all hit that like button, I greatly would appreciate that. If y'all hit that like, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, man, these blogs, articles, all that good stuff, man, if they deliver, and that's a big if, and if the gameplay is balanced, once again, another big if, and if we got ourselves a sound game that really is delivering on these NFL facets that we definitely have been needing, that have been lacking for a mighty long time, I'm gonna be very happy, and we'll be in a place to build from. Yes, a foundation. Yes, ground zero. Yes, that's my interpretation. That's how I feel about that. So I'm about to call it a wrap on this, you guys. Y'all be safe, take care, God bless, and I shall holla at y'all on next week at some point or what have you, okay? Alright, y'all. Enjoy the rest of the NFL draft, by the way, as well. So, alright, y'all. Take care. Peace.